For 2 weeks, some of the best athletes in the world will compete for gold and glory at the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. And we're going to do a preview of the Summer Games. We'll do that with a veteran journalist, TV host, and sports commentator. She is also the author of a play about Olympic silver medalists. It is titled Almost Gold. Her name is Julia Sun, and she joins me now. Julia, how's it going?
Hi there. I am so excited. The games are about to start, and there are so many things to watch. We have so much to talk about.
Yeah, we do. I'm so excited for these games as well, too, Julia. And when it comes to the Olympic Games, we know that stars will shine, and sometimes it's the opportunity for someone in their sport to elevate their platform to the big stage. So who from the Team USA roster do you think has a chance to be a breakout star at the Games this summer?
Well, Team USA has such a strong roster, as you know. There are a few people I'm betting who are going to be the breakout stars of this year's game. The first person I'm watching, his name is Chase Budinger. He's just a really interesting guy because he used to be an NBA forward, and then he was like, oh, let's go play beach volleyball. Check him out if you haven't done that. So his NBA career was pretty impressive. He played professional basketball for several years. He was drafted back in, I believe, 2009, and then he played for teams including the Rockets and the Sun. He did really well. He has a very impressive vertical leap. This guy can really dunk. So on June 5th, 2024, so he and his volleyball partner, they qualified for the Summer Olympics, and I'm just looking forward. Do those skills transfer? You know, you can dunk on the court. Can you jump really high on the volleyball beach court? I think that's the case. So he's going to be the first person who I'm going to be watching. And on the beach volleyball front, matches will be played under the Eiffel Tower. So it's going to be such a picturesque backdrop. It's just going to be beautiful.
Yeah, that's going to be beautiful to see. And as a big NBA fan, I'm familiar with Chase Budinger, very good leaper, dunker back in the day on the Rockets. I'm intrigued to see how that translates to the beach volleyball game as well, Julia. Now, I want to talk about two of the sports here, swimming and gymnastics, because Team USA, they boast dominant stars such as Katie Ledecky and Simone Biles, respectively, in each of those sports. Do you expect both of these women to continue their dominance in their sports this summer? And do you believe that they're going to contribute to the increasing popularity of women's sports that we've seen?
Yes, absolutely, yes. And first of all, women's sports, the ratings just been going out the roof. And these two women, trailblazers, along with others that you can name, Caitlin Clark, everybody else, they are contributing to this continued dominance. Katie Ledecky, I mean, she's looking to add to her 10 Olympic medal collection. She's already a 7-time gold medalist, and she's going to compete in multiple events. I'm looking forward to see her swim for the 1,500-meter and 400-meter freestyle gold. I saw a quote that she told one of my former colleagues at Reuters Television, and she said it's going to be a very fast field, like literally, and she's really looking forward to it. I think she's going to face very tough competition, though. I think one of her toughest competition is going to come from Canada. Summer McIntosh, she is not really, I don't think she's a household name in the U.S. yet. She's Canadian, she's from Toronto, but I'm definitely watching her because she broke world records recently during the Canadian version of the Olympic trial. She broke her own record in the 400-meter medley. And then Ledecky, she has another competitor from Australia. Her name is Ariane Titmus, and she's also world record setter as well. She did really well during the 200-meter freestyle Australian Olympic trial. So those two will be Katie's main competition. That being said, I think it's Ledecky. She's definitely going to be the one to watch. And switching over to gymnastics, I don't really have to say anything more about Simone Biles. I talked about her a lot on my shows over the years. She's just sensational. I don't know what other adjectives I could come up with to describe her dominance because she's gotten everything and she still comes back. And of course, what happened back in the Tokyo Olympics. She wants a redemption. I think she will get it both for the gymnastics field and the swimming field. The U.S. fields are super deep. We could literally send the B squad to the Olympic, and we would still have a good chance to medal. So those will be very good games to follow.
Yeah, going to be good to follow women's swimming and women's gymnastics, as you mentioned, with Ledecky, with Simone Biles, so dominant in their sports. We'll see if they'll continue their domination here at the Games in Paris. Now, in basketball, talking about domination, the USA men's and women's teams, they've dominated in the Olympic Games. The men's, they're going for their 5th consecutive gold, while the women, they're trying to make it 8 in a row, Julia. Do you think both teams will extend their winning streaks in Paris? Do you see it happening?
I mean, I have to say yes, because that's the consensus. But I mean, you just can't see things go another way when you have Curry, you have LeBron, you have Durant, you have Anthony Davis, you have all these stars in the same court. One interesting point, actually, I was discussing with another sports anchor on a different show yesterday was, what will the chemistry be when you get all of these MVPs, best players in history, on the same court? Will there be unnecessary ego? I don't know. I haven't seen anything of that sort yet, but that is something to think about. And then on the women's side, I spent my years covering people like Brittany Griner, Sabrina Ionescu, and she's from your home turf. I saw her playing in your home turf in Brooklyn many times. Rising star, young player. She's going to draw a lot of eyeballs. She reminds me of, I would say, a younger Russell Westbrook, if you will. Like, her speed driving to the basket, it's super fast. You just can't stop her when she's on. So I'm excited to see all of them bringing home the gold for Team USA.
No, I really am. I'm excited if they can keep that streak alive. Both the men and the women, in terms of basketball, are favorites on their side. Okay, Julia, so we know some of the more popular Olympic sports for fans to watch, right? Some of the ones we already talked about: swimming, gymnastics. We didn't talk about track and field, but that's very popular as well, too. But what sport that may not be popular are you most excited to watch over the next 2 weeks?
Well, given my obsession with Olympic silver medalists and given my obsession with sports with judging criteria, where, you know, there's a judging panel and they give you the scores, not the fastest person or the person who jumped the highest wins, I usually follow the sports with judging components pretty closely. And they include diving, they include synchronized swimming, they obviously include gymnastics. And when I say gymnastics, it's both artistic gymnastics and trampoline. So all those things I think are worth watching. But the other things that I'm really watching is, this is the first time the opening ceremony will be held outside a traditional stadium. How cool is that? It'll take place on the River Seine. Nearly 100 or so boats are going to carry athletes and performers. One of my producers, she's in Paris right now. She bought a ticket that was more than $3,000, but she's such a diehard sports fan, so she went. I saw the numbers from the organizer. About 300,000 spectators are expected to be present along the riverbanks, which I think is not a lot of people, because 11 million plus people live in the city of Paris. So I'm sure there's going to be crowd control measures. But if you're lucky, you will be one of those spectators looking at the outdoor opening ceremony that's not taken place in a stadium. So that's something new. It's eco-friendly. It's sustainable. You don't need to build a stadium from scratch and then maybe tear everything down later when the athletes leave town. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm excited to see it. I'm not sure I would want to be there among 300,000 people, but it will be excited to watch from afar. And your producer, she should have got you a ticket as well, too. I think she should have got you a ticket, Julia.
I'm covering the games here, so I look forward to talking to you here, and we'll do more together.
Yes, we're going to do more throughout it. One last thing before we let you go here. When you look at the overall Team USA roster, do you think America brings home the most medals? And which sport do you think is going to bring home the most medals for the United States?
I think in terms of asking which sports might bring home the most medal, I usually just, the no-brainer answer is go for the disciplines that are medal rich. For example, swimming. There are so many medals being awarded in swimming as opposed to basketball. Well, there is really just going to be one gold medal. In swimming, for example, you have the relay, you have this many meters, you have so many variations. So it is educated guess to say, oh, swimming, track and field, gymnastics, these popular disciplines, these popular sports will contribute to the most medal count. And yes, I do expect U.S. to top the medal chart.
All right, that's going to make the United States fans happy. They want to see the men and women of Team USA come home with plenty of medals and hopefully a lot of gold medals. That's what people want to see. That is Julia Sun. Check out her work. Fantastic journalist, TV host, sports commentator, also the author of a play, about Olympic silver medalist, It's called Almost Gold. Check that out. Julia, glad to connect with you to preview the Olympics. We'll be talking a lot more throughout these Olympic Games. Okay?
Let's do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.